Welcome everybody. I'm going to load up a game of Dune here and talk about how to play on Tabletop Simulator. All right, so this is the mod by Pestilence. You can find it on the Steam Workshop. Has a number of useful things here. So let's talk about some tabletop basics first. All right, so to set up a game, I'm going to click the modification you want, and then you're going to click Setup and Play. A couple of things to note about tabletop. There are different colors in the top right-hand side here. These colors indicate what seat you're sitting at. So changing color will be the red team, the Harkonnens. If you want to change to the green, you'll play Atreides. If you are viewing or you have multiple people watching, spectator is great. Now, spectator, you can't interact with anything here, and you can't peek under anything. Well, I guess you can peek under stuff. You can peek under some items, but not everything. And then if you are black, you are the game master, which means you can look under items. And you also have the ability to see everybody's cards in their hands. So like a spectator cannot, but if you have a spectator looking at and you want them to be able to watch the game, set them to black. Okay, a couple of other things. You can promote your opponents by clicking their name and clicking the promote button that comes up right here. Promoting them lets them do some things like copy and paste items, and sometimes that's useful if they want to do something for, whatever reason. So promoting is something that's nice to do. Doesn't give them any special access privileges or anything. Okay, tabletop basics. When you pick up items by clicking and dragging, if you press numbers 1, 2, or 3, it will put them in different rows. So like here, I've got a whole group of people, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, whatever. Sometimes helps for organizing. You can rotate with the E and Q button, and the percentage of rotating that happens is done up here where it says 90 degrees. You can set the rotation for however you like, which then will rotate people at different degrees every time you press the rotate button. So, like for Triumph and Tragedy, when I play, everything rotates on 90-degree surfaces, so that's really nice to have. If you're looking for a smoother, feel to it, you might set it for 15%, and then you can just have little rotating Harkonnen like that. Okay, to peek under things is Alt-Shift. You can see what's underneath items, okay? Alt itself blows a object up. Like if you wanted to look at a card, you press Alt, and then you can mouse wheel in or back, and it'll blow things up. That sets the zoom level, so whatever you like there. To draw cards, you hover over a deck, and you can either right-click and do Draw, and I'll take 1 into your hand. Now, because I'm black, it's drawing 1 into each hand because I'm set as Game Master, but if I were Harkonnen, for example, here, and I were to hover over the Harkonnen deck, I'd press 1, and it will draw 1 single card into my hand down here, and if I want to look at it, I can press Alt. If I want to look at the back side of it while zooming in, I hold Shift, and then look at the back side of the card. Okay. What else is useful? Shuffling. You can right-click on something and then hit Shuffle, or you can press the R button and it will shuffle as well. So if you look at the little animation on the card deck here, shuffling or right-click, shuffle is good. That's pretty good. If you want to make something larger, the plus button will make something larger, the minus button will make something smaller. You don't use that very often. And to roll a dice, you also press R, so you can think of that as like I'm shuffling the dice, right? These boxes here are dice shufflers. So if you group up dice and you put the hand over the box, and you drop them in, it will drop all the dice into the harvester because we had too many dice. I'll talk about what I just did there in a second. Okay, so you drop the dice or objects in there and it will shuffle them out and deploy them in like an easy to read function. So here I'm picking up the dice, I'm placing 2 to kind of group them up, dropping them in there. You can also pick something up and then right click while holding it, and it will sort of group things up together in a ball. So that's nice to do sometimes just for the tactile usage of it. Also, if you're holding something and you want to pick up something else, you do right click and that will add to the pile. So if I want to pick up a bunch of harvesters and then some Atreides guys and some Bene Gesserit tokens and some other dice over here, because I'm a crazy person and then I want to shuffle everything together, I'll drop them in here and they'll shuffle. All right, we had a problem because we had too many things shuffling and we went off the board. So, okay, good. If you want to read a rule book, you come over here and you can click through the rule book, or you can right click on it and you can, nope, I guess you can just read here. If you want to zoom in, again, you press the Alt button. That is pretty much it. Some nuances with the script itself. If you save and then or rewind, which is what this rewind time button is here, you will functionally break the scripting on here. So this is good for kind of like one play, and afterwards it has to kind of manually do everything. So the script will automatically issue all the Bene Gesserit token, or all the Atreides and all the Sieches and all that out, and then you can peek under them manually, or you can press this reveal button right here. And how did I get an arrow there? If you press the tab button, you can point. So this is pretty useful. Also, if you hold the tab button, you can draw lines. So for example, if I wanted to say, hey, I'm going to use this legion and I'm going to move him to here, I could do it like that, or I could also hold tab and I could do that and then move a legion like that if I was trying to show my opponent what I was doing. Okay, back to the reveal button. If I hit the reveal button, all of these Sieches here will be flipped over so I can see everything. Threes, blah, blah, blah. Now the Harkonnen player cannot see those. To the Harkonnen player, it just looks empty. Where'd all my stuff go? So this is an easy way for the Atreides player to sort of get a good gauge as to what's going on. When they're done looking, they can click hide. Their starting objective is here. It deals to your hand and your 2 cards here. Harkonnen player cannot obviously see that, and also if they try to peek under it because they're cheaters, they cannot see. Okay, what else automates here? When you get new heroes in, so this is going to be your prescience tracker, when you qualify for new heroes, you're just going to press this button, and it's going to bring your units in and replace their cards, and bring your other guys out, and notify your opponent what you're doing. Same over here, so you can bring in guys here. It doesn't like it because I'm the Atreides player doing it, but anyway, same idea. At the end of the turn, you're going to put out all your worm sign tokens, and you can use this worm sign reveal button to flip your tokens over, and it will also tell you where your worms go. It's very important that these be touching the board and not on top of a harvester generally. Sometimes it will error out and not do the click if it's sitting on top of the harvester, I found. So a good idea to just make sure it's on the board. When you're done with worm sign, you click worm sign cleanup and they all go away. And then when you want to roll for storms to see if, maybe we kill this Harkonnen guy here in the deep desert, the mechanic is I usually tap who I'm rolling for storms. With tab, I draw down my attention to, hey, I'm rolling for a storm. And then I roll, and then we can see there's a hit, so this guy dies. So what do you do with dead people? You can either drop them back into these boxes here, or using right click to pick these up, you can put them over here, and then you can press to clean up, and they'll all go back. Okay, last thing is combat here. So what I typically do if I'm having a combat, I'll pull guys out here. I'll pull Harkonnen players out here. And we'll usually say, okay, I'm rolling 4 dice, right? So I'm going to roll 4 dice in the dice roller. The Harkonnen player is rolling 3 dice. And then kind of a nice mechanic is, taking these dice off the board for the time. And then you can do things like, hey, you know, I did 1 damage to the Harkonnens and they lose this guy. And we'll put him over here and clean up. And then that's that. If you're done with Prescience cards at the end of the turn, you can drop them in the void and they're gone forever. And by gone forever, I mean you can search the void and find your cards and bring them back if you want to. So this is just kind of like a general trash pit to throw things. Atomics, when you qualify for atomics, you can click where you want to blow up. Then it says, do you want to blow up here? And you say, oh, no, I changed my mind. I don't want to do that. I actually want to blow up here instead. And I'll say, okay, do you want to blow up here? You say, yeah, I do. Okay, boom. It's going to load the script in here, and then it's going to clear that out into a desert, which will also trigger when you worm sign. And there it is. And you can see this did not qualify for a worm. Okay, that's an overview for Dune here. I hope you liked it. Maybe I'll see about filming some live games. All right, guys, Wombat out.